Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching this brief ag forecast brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. I want to dive right into what we got in terms of updates over the weekend for the new long-range outlook, and we're going to focus in on winter. Our first map here shows you the precipitation anomalies for December, January, February. And what we continue to see here is mostly due to the cold water that's in place here, plus the La Nina going on. We expect a highly variable Pacific jet and also a very strong northern branch or polar branch of the jet stream. So that's going to keep much of the Pacific Northwest wet and snowy this winter. We expect the same thing for the Canadian Prairie and the Northern Plains, and also in the Mid-Mississippi River Valley and the Ohio River Valley. That's an active storm track. Now we have both a La Nina and what we call the negative phase of the Pacific Decadal Oscillation. And in both situations, that tends to give us drier conditions from Southern California through the Southwest into the southern plains, along the Gulf Coast, and up part of the southeast coast toward the mid-Atlantic. So this particular pattern is of no surprise when you get a good look at what the ocean temperature patterns look like right now. And if we maintain the cooler water here, the cool extension off the Baja, and the continually deepening La Nina in this area, there's a deep reservoir of cold water here and strong trade winds. We would expect to see this as the precipitation pattern. Now we got some support over the weekend also from the National Multimodal Ensemble. Same time period, same idea. Drier conditions through here, wetter in the mid-Mississippi and Ohio River Valley, active storm track through the U.S.-Canada border right up here on the out of the Canadian Prairie, and once again, the stronger onshore flow at times in the northwest, really piling up that snow and giving a lot of precip. The long-range NMME also gives us this temperature pattern, and again, you can see right in through here is where we expect that highly variable Pacific jet to be. We could see that cold air getting let out at times, coming deep into the south, even though you see warm anomalies here. Don't expect this cold air just to sit here all winter. It will come out at times. And you're going to see the same thing echoed in the long-range temperature pattern from the European model. That's what we've got. So that's that reservoir of cold air I want to be watching most carefully. Now I'm going to blow this out to an equatorial view and show you those seasonal ocean temperatures. But I want to go beyond December, January, February, because we expect this La Nina to start to fade midwinter. And now you can see February, March, April, May. Now we're starting to develop some warmer water through here with still the residual cold tongue that's along the west coast of North America. And just one thing I want to point out is historically that ocean temperature configuration tends to give us a very active spring in terms of severe storms. Now that's pretty far out there, but I'm just thinking longer term if we transition to El Nino by spring, what that might mean, okay? Now, coming back to the near term, the last 30 days, this is what our precipitation pattern has looked like. And I'm going to see some improvements in Montana, in Wisconsin, and storms that are going to run from the lower Mississippi River Valley over toward parts of South Carolina. But this is an area where I expect to continue to see drier conditions. We already have drought in that area. We've seen it expand in the southern plains as of late. Same thing for around the upper Midwest and over here toward the Carolinas. That's a few areas I'm going to be watching. The Carolinas didn't get any help this weekend either from the system that was here that cut across Florida on Friday and Saturday and then developed into a deep cyclone that then went on out to open ocean. We overdid it on the precip forecast, especially for North Carolina, but we did an all right job here in South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Rest of the country, relatively dry. We're waiting on this next system, and here it is, this deeper trough to just plow through the northwest and emerge midweek, Wednesday, Thursday timeframe in the upper Midwest and northern plains. But coming in behind it, see this wave here? We got to watch that one too, because it will eventually work in behind this wave, giving us another shot at snow. We better get in and talk about all of it. I want to show you the pattern first. This is the ridge that kept much of the eastern half of the country warm this weekend. And what you're going to see is the deeper trough cutting into the west here. By Tuesday, getting into Wednesday, that's where it emerges on the plains by Thursday. A ridge rebuilds temporarily in the west, but that trough deepens over Wisconsin, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan. And just reminds me always this time of year of that famous song by Gordon Lightfoot, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. This is an Edmund Fitzgerald type storm here, okay? Now, after that wave comes through that deep trough here, I want you to watch the backside right there on Saturday. That's the second trough. I told you to keep an eye on it way up here. That's when it finally comes through. It sneaks right across the upper Midwest and Western Corn Belt, reinforces that cold shot of air getting in toward mid-month. But we're not done. I mean, you just see that the West Coast, by the 16th, another system comes through here. Pattern is open and unblocked. So let's start stitching it together with a multi-model analysis. Playing this forward through the day on Tuesday. Let's stop this about 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. You see that during that time period, the late overnight Monday into Tuesday morning, the West Coast is getting the tail end of a front coming through here. That kind of the energy, the shortwave coming through Northern California is the one that's going to emerge once we get late in the day on Tuesday, just on this side of the Rockies. You should expect scattered showers from Missouri through Illinois, Indiana, right up toward the eastern Great Lakes here as we get into the day on Tuesday, just scattered. But the big show is really going to start to really rear its kind of ugly head here on Wednesday. So that low starts to emerge Wednesday evening and takes off. Now what we're going to see, let me step you back here. Throughout the evening hours on Wednesday, from this part of Kansas down through the Red River Valley of the South, got a chance for some strong to severe storms. It's going to be a quick hit for these storms, but they're going to come through and may pack a little bit of a punch. And from here, I got to let the other models take over. And unlike a week ago where the models did not agree, let me show you what they agree on now. So let's play through Tuesday, get out to Wednesday, and we'll just stop this. How about right here Wednesday at noon? That's pretty good model agreement, wouldn't you say? Both models putting the low in the same spot. The trailing front to the south, this is an upper level front, but it's connected very close to the surface front. And it's going to slice through the eastern Corn Belt. Going to bring storms from the Red River Valley on Wednesday, possibly through the lower Mississippi River Valley into the Tennessee Valley on Thursday. But it's the backside where we expect blizzard conditions in parts of western Ontario into Manitoba. And the models both curl that snow around into the Red River Valley of the North through Minnesota and Wisconsin. I'll show you the amounts in just a few moments. While that's going on and this low is vertically stacking itself up toward the end of the week, it's going to be wet in the Northeast as well. Remember that second shot I told you about, though? Here we are, Saturday 6 a.m., Saturday 6 p.m. There you go. Throughout the day on Saturday, this is the next wave that comes out here through Saskatchewan, through Manitoba, cutting into the Red River Valley of the North again. And that one sneaks on around, and by Sunday morning is possibly delivering some more snow to Minnesota and to Wisconsin. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and that pushes again into the Northeast. Then we go back into reset mode. By next Monday, we're already watching our next system come in here. Very good model agreement up to this point. It's going to be windy as all this takes place. Tuesday into partly into Wednesday, very windy in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California. Then as that system comes out on Wednesday, Thursday, that's when the strong backside winds on this come screaming through the plains in the western part of the Corn Belt, the Midwest. Could get wind gusts here 30 to 50 miles an hour. And we're talking blizzard conditions right in through here. All right, this is your next. This gets us through Sunday or Saturday looking at total wind gusts. You probably want to see those snow maps though. So let's go right here all the way through next Sunday evening, total accumulated snow. Could have a swath from Saskatchewan through Manitoba and Ontario here that easily picks up maybe a foot of snow. There's enough liquid in this to do it. And on the backside wrapping around, we could get several inches of snow here in the Red River Valley, curling into Minnesota, coming through Sioux Falls, now north of Sioux Falls, but right in through this area. That's what I'm going to watch, and that's also going to hit Wisconsin. And that is the European, and this is the GFS. Overall, very similar placement on this. The GFS is less aggressive with the snow coming farther to the south, though, at this point. I'll show you this. This would be the European ensemble, so stitched together 51 different model runs, and you can pause the video and have a close look here. Total accumulated snow from the European ensemble through the next 10 days. It's likely overdoing it, all right? But it will be snowy in through here. Total liquid in this thing, well, let's just say, what's the probability of grabbing an inch of total accumulated liquid precipitation through the next 10 days? I mean, if you melt the snow down, what do you get? This is the probability of getting at least an inch. And the Northwest is going to get hammered here. Ready? Probability of 4 inches. Look at the Cascade Mountains here, easily topping those amounts. That week 2 pattern starts here, but stays open. So you see another trough coming through right there on the 17th. That's a reinforcing shot at some colder air. And it's really going to stick around all the way up to the week of Thanksgiving right in through here. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us this precip pattern. We're tending to see normal November precip through the midsection of the country, maybe above normal, pushing up against the Rockies here in Montana. Possibly drier in California, though, and drier from Texas to the mid-Atlantic. And that's something we had expected with this La Nina. Okay, before we go any longer term, let's go look here at temperatures. since the beginning of the month. So this is only looking at the 1st through the 7th here. This is where I've seen a frost so far, and I just wanted to show you that we picked up new frost events down here in the Mid-South into parts of the Southeast and through the Piedmont of North Carolina. But the weekend warmed up. This was Monday's highs. There's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's when the low takes shape. Watch the cold air come in behind this. Ready? Kansas City, Friday, getting at a high here of 45 degrees. Omaha, 38. At 38, 41, that's cold. As we go from there into Saturday, the cold air slides east and sets up shop over the east by next weekend. And when we look out there at day 5 through 10, that's what the pattern's going to really reflect. We got a jet stream flow that's doing this. And there's snow-covered ground here, reinforcing the shots of cooler air coming into the east. And we see that really setting up here, day 10 through 15. And that is that cold reservoir of air that I was waiting to see develop. And as a consequence of that, take a look at the new European weeklies. Now, this is right now, but as we play this forward, a sliding 1 week window at a time, there's that colder air we just talked about coming out. See it? And where's it coming out? It's coming out before Thanksgiving and sticking around in this area for the Thanksgiving week. The weak ridging over the the southwest, that's very consistent with this pattern overall. And as we just play this out, let's just keep going out here, all the way out to, mid-December. We see the pattern fluctuates, but it favors more real shots at colder air. How about we just look at the time period of the whole of November 22nd to December 22nd, and let's flip over to precipitation. What do we see? Very, La Nina-like behavior. Above average here, above average there, above average precip here, drier, drier. That's very consistent with our message at the beginning here. And there's another component to this. It's what's going on with the trade winds. The trade winds, shown in blue here, are meeting up with these westerlies over the next 15 days. You see where they meet? Right there. That's where we get our rising motion. That sits squarely on top of phase 5. And should we stay on top of phase 5, that precipitation pattern and temperature pattern I just showed you is very consistent historically. You see, this shows us when the MJO is in phase 5 that we tend to keep building troughs in the Gulf of Alaska, weak ridging over the southwest, and troughs that move over the eastern part of the United States. That is an active pattern to be on the lookout for. So, very consistent forecast here. What could derail this? Blocking in the the North Atlantic. A shift at all in the trough that is in the Gulf of Alaska, or any change in the Arctic, and we should expect potential for any of that to occur. So I'll watch it all week, report back to you again on Thursday. Thanks.